Green for the elementary student. Mr. Watson, City Green for the elementary. We have a two-shooters. Michael Sherman, Jeff Grill, Aaron Keys, and Nate Burris representing the Big Reds.
White has won the toss, elected to receive. Black has lost the toss, will defend this goal and kick in this direction.
Big Red kickoff, defending the left goal.
So that is a key stat that we'll keep an eye on this evening, the turnovers.
Yeah, turnovers always play a big part in any football game. Anytime you've got the ball and you cough it up and give it to the other team, obviously that's a less chance that you have to continue on down the field and score. And Big Red's credentials as far as coming up with turnovers is much larger than is Central.
Well, we've got him teeing up, and Edwards has it set at his 40. He's been doing an outstanding job since he's taken over the kickoff duties. He'll usually send them high and deep as Manilak and Richardson are standing at the 5. This is long and deep, and Manilak will take it at the 5, right up the middle behind the wall, 10-15, cuts to the outside 20, and is down at about the 21-yard line. So Central takes over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line. Bernard down there on the kickoff unit, helping out with the stop. At the quarterback spot, out over the football, is Brian Krager, the offensive center. Gibson will split to the right. And Central lines up with a double tight end split backs. Manilak and Richardson as Gibson, the single wide receiver, goes in motion to the far side. Dive play. Kenny Richardson finds a hold. 25 over the 30, first down at the 32. Central with the double tights, which we haven't seen very often, except when they go wishbone, except here they went split backs, and Kenny Richardson on the straight dive will pick up 11 to the 32.
Well, that's a good start for the Crusaders. Fine blocking on the left side of the offensive line for Steubenville Catholic as they were able to get Kenny Richardson that little hole. He runs rather low to the ground and keeps his head down and runs pretty hard, and he picks up a nice 11-yard gain.
Bolshaw's in with the play. He split left. Marshall and Wilson are the double tight ends. This time it's an I backfield, and here comes Joey Poshaw in motion to the near side. Long count, Maracino, deep handoff, left side. Manilak cuts it back, gets to the 35. Freddie Manilak will pick up 3. Nate Burris is there to make the stop. He was helped out by Jimmy Keaton.
John,
So 3-yard pickup, 2nd and 7 at their own 35.
John, Fred and hit the seams and get to the outside a lot quicker than Kenny Richardson.
Again, double tight ends. Gibson flanker left, goes in motion, backs in an eye. Marcino fakes the pitch, hands off inside. Richardson hit immediately, but gets to the 37. Burris there, along with 24, the inside linebacker. That's Terry, who made the initial hit. Steve Terry, the 205-pound junior, put a good sock on Kenny Richardson. 2-yard gain, 3rd and 5 at the Central 37.
Well, Terry.
It's the inside linebackers, Aaron Peace and Stevie Terry. Trips left. There's a draw play. Richardson hit it to 37. Excellent defensive play by Kenny Talamine, the defensive tackle. If Talamine doesn't make the tackle on that nice draw play, Richardson probably would have had the first down. He doesn't gain any, and Central will have to punt.
Yeah, there was a good 5 to 6 yards ahead of Kenny Richardson that time. Had Talamine not filled the hole, he actually caught him from behind and made a real nice tackle and brought it down and stalls the Crusader drive out, and they're going to be forced to punt.
Roseberry and Tillman stand at their 30. Polshaw stands at his 25 to do the punting. Talensik, the long snapper, no rush. High end over end. Roseberry hesitates, grabs it, drops it, picks it up, and is down at the 36-yard line. He actually didn't drop it. It fell down, looked like in between his knees. He was able to hold on to it, but it kept him from getting any kind of a return.
Yes, it did, exactly. It almost slipped out of there. It went through his arms, down in between, and he pinched it with his knees, as you said, and he was trying to sort of run and shuffle at the same time, and luckily for the Big Red, he was able to hold on to it, and they held him to a short gain.
32-yard punt, about a 3-yard return. Big Red 1st and 10 at their own 36, and they're in a pro eye for Jeff Grill. Grill looking, has a man wide open over the middle. Palmer, the intended receiver, was wide open at the Big Red 47, and Grill threw it behind him. It would have been a huge gain, 2nd and 10.
Well, Big Red electing to open it up. The start of the game, they went to the pass rather than the usual off tackle or whatever, and that play was definitely there, but Grill just overthrew Palmer.
Play coming in as one of the wideouts, Matt Shepard, goes to the bench. And Edwards comes in, and he joins Tillman as twins left. Backs are in an eye. Grill on a deep draw. Right up the gut goes Roseberry. Nice hole. Roseberry crosses the 45. Shoestring tackle at the 46 made by David Stanwyck. Very close to a Big Red first down. It'll be at the 45.5. It'll be 3rd and about a half a yard. Did. Pro set this time on 3rd and short. Palmer tight at left end. Long count by Grill. Hands off left side. First down the Red. Carrying the mail. Tailbacker Ricky Fletcher gets the first down. The 185-pound senior crosses midfield and gives Big Red their initial first down. Scotty Bloomer making the stop. But a nice gain on 3rd and short of 6 yards at the Central 49.
That was really a shot for 6.
Edwards and Tillman are twins left, backs in the eye, option short side. Grill turns it up 50, 45, and near the out-of-bounds line at the 44, maybe the 43-yard line. Making the stop, cornerback Aaron Talensik, helped out by Scotty Bloomer. The gain will be, and as he didn't go out of bounds, to the 44 of Catholic Central, so a 5-yard pickup, 20 yards on 3 running plays for the Big Red ground attacker.
Speed.
Shepard tells Tillman to come to his side, but Tillman stays to the far side. Shepard's a wing left. They're unbalanced right. Long count by Grill. Here's a toss. Going to the outside, we have a flag. That's probably an illegal formation. Roseberry gets to carry, and Roseberry gets down to the 41 of Catholic Central. Stanwyck over there. But we had a flag, and I got to believe some type of illegal formation maybe.
Well, John, there seemed to be...
Procedure.
Yeah, it's procedure. There seemed to be a little confusion, as you mentioned, before the ball was snapped. Where one wide out from Big Red was telling another one he was on the wrong side, and it just didn't seem to gel right off the bat.
Shepard, referee said illegal formation, only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. We got a wing right, Hargrave, split left is Tillman. Hargrave comes in motion to join Tillman. Here's a counter play. Roseberry gets the carry, and he's grabbed immediately by Big Bobby Mascalino, the defensive tackle, and he'll stop him at the line of scrimmage, which is the Central 49. And that will bring up 3rd and 10 on a key possession here with 6:56 to go in quarter number 1. Central got a first down and then punted. Big Red has got a first down, and now they have 3rd and long.
Outstanding deal gain at all.
Shepard and Tillman are twins left, the backs in an eye, and Palmer is tight at right end, and Central's in their loose 4-4 defense looking for a pass. Grill fakes the draw. Grill looks over the middle, overthrows. Tillman was open, but he threw it 10 yards over his head. Yanni had to cover it. There was a linebacker in front of Tillman, and that was Rich Galtaire, and maybe that's why Grill shot it high, figuring that the linebacker would intercept if he drilled it low.
Well, the linebackers are going to have to get a deep drop for Steubenville Central and try to keep in between the ball, Tillman, and the defensive man. They're going to try to have to get one in front and in back of him.
Well, Big Red will punt, as has Catholic Central. Poshaw and Yanni are deep. Snap is good. Edwards, high and short. They're going to let it bounce. It bounces at the Central 28, goes sideways out of bounds, and touched by Chris Snyder somewhere near the 28-yard line of Catholic Central. So both teams were able to manage a first down, but then the drives stalled. And Central forces the Big Red punt with 6:16 to go here, and that's your tip of the night for tomorrow on the Ohio Lottery. That's Grandma Niece's street number, 616. I
had that three times last week when we were over at Brook. He told me that. I played it twice, and I'm not any richer today than I was last week.
Jake Hollywood says, is that the hot tip? Is that the hot tip? The press box manager. 1st and 10 at the Central 29. They got the double tight ends again. Gibson goes in motion. Here's a dive play to Richardson. They open the game with that. Richardson goes over the 30 and gets out to the 32, but pays for it because about 5 black shirts were on him. Terry was there, Talamine there, Burris there. Just about everybody was there. Pick up of 3 to the 32. 2nd down and 7. By the way, the punt by Edwards was not one of his better ones. It carried but 20 yards. 2nd and 7. Here goes Pulshall in motion. This time the backs are in an eye. Here goes Richardson, left side, very short yardage, maybe a yard. Burris is on the top of the pile. 21 is on the bottom of the pile for the Big Red defense. Outside linebacker Ricky Fletcher. Very short yardage, pickup of 1. 3rd and 6 at the Central 33, and they're playing it quite conservatively here on their first 2 possessions.
Well, not in their 3rd and 6, they could be in trouble.
They're in the pro eye this time. Pulshaw left, Gibson right. Play action. Marcino back, flips it over the middle, intended for the tight end Wilson, who slipped down, almost intercepted, as it was overthrown when he slipped down by Shepard. And Big Red will get the ball for a second time as they forced another Crusader punt.
Well, 3rd and 6 situation obviously is a passing down. They attempted to go to the tight end coming across Paul. It's just my name's just Wilson.
My neighbor.
Paul Wilson,
Paul
right?
Wilson.
Okay.
So Pulshaw will punt for the second time, his first covered 30. Tillman and Roseberry are standing at the Big Red 35. No rush. High end over end. He kicked it away. It will be out of bounds somewhere in the vicinity of the Big Red 40-yard line. Now 43.
8 yards after the defensive stand that they put up. So thus far it's been a game of defense, shutting down each team's offense and forcing them to punt.
Punt covered 25 yards. Pro eye. Hargrave right, Tillman left, got single coverage, maybe double coverage. Hargrave in motion, deep handoff to the tailback, and maybe to the 45. Roseberry, the ball carrier, Krager and Stanwyck, along with Bloomer on the stop. As that time Roseberry tried to hurdle. We'll give him 3 to the 45, 2nd and 7. We've got
defensive end position number 32.
He and Marshall are the defensive ends. Mascalino and Stanwyck are the defensive tackles. Pro eye, fake the draw. Grill rolling out, looking for his first completion. Grill will run. He's at the 45. He's at midfield. He breaks a tackle. He's at the Central 45, and he's got a second Big Red first down. Stanwyck finally brought him down, and I tell you, Jeff Grill is a triple threat. He can run, he can throw, he can scramble, he can do a lot of things back there. And when
having to run the football, though, more than throwing it, because they can beat you with that big play, the Big Red can. And with their outstanding receivers, I think Central coaching staff would be happy to have Grill run the ball.
We got Shepard right. Looks like Edwards split left. Split backs. Dive over the right side, carrying the mail, Ricky Fletcher. And Ricky will get about 5 to the Central 40. Inside linebacker Brian Krager makes the stop. They spot his knee down at the 41, so Fletcher gets 4. Big Red now 45 yards on 7 running plays. Nothing in the air, a pair of first downs, and it's 2nd and 6 at the Central 41-yard line.
John, pretty fast-moving first quarter. We're down near the 3-minute mark.
Only 1 penalty, a lot of running plays. Only 3 passes, all incomplete. Edwards goes in motion. Don't see Tillman in there. Option left. Grill fakes the pitch, turns it across the 40, 35-yard line. Tripped up by Rich Galtier, helped out by Aaron Talensik. But Grill sort of faked the flip on the reverse option and will move it for 6 yards to the 35, and they're going to bring the chains in for a measurement.
Aaron Talensik.
I'm looking for number 7. Oh, there he is, Michael Tillman. Maybe he's hiding in there, tight end or something. They stretch the chains, and it's a Big Red first down. Their second of the drive and third of the game, and the deepest penetration here in quarter number 1 shows Steubenville at Central's 35-yard line as Edwards comes in with the play from the bench. Fletcher and Roseberry split backs, twin receivers, Edwards and Tillman to the right. Grill hands off, straight dive. Fletcher breaks one tackle and travels across the 30. Let's see where they spot him down as he was tripped up. They say he went down at the Central 29, so on the straight dive, Fletcher will pick up 6. Big Red averaging a little more than 6 yards a trip on the ground, 57 yards and 9 carries, 2nd and 4 with 2:20 to go in the first quarter at the Central 29.
Well, they have a variety of offensive things that they can do. They run the ball very well. They've thrown the ball very well. They're just a very hard team to defend.
Split backs. Wing left is Shepard. Split right, Tillman. There goes Shepard in motion to join Tillman. Here goes the option right side. Grill all kind of running room. He turns across to 25. Grill gets inside to 20 and has another first down at the 18-yard line before he's finally brought down by Kenny Richardson. And did they set that play up? He handed off a couple of times on the straight dive. This time he kept it around the right side. They spot him at the 19. Grill picks up
2 yards and 4 carries now for Jeff Grill.
Got Edwards right, Tillman left. Palmer tied it right in. Here comes Edwards to join Tillman. There they go on the dive left. Fletcher gets the carry, hit initially, spins, and gets down to the 16 for 3. Right on the bottom of the pile, Bobby Mascalino. Helped out by one of the defensive ends, Brian Treglia. He and Marshall are the defensive ends for Central as Shepard comes in with the play, replacing Edwards.
They really have mixed it up very well. They haven't done, one thing back-to-back. They've hit inside, they've hit outside, and be interesting to see they're in the I formation here, whether they're going to power it or try to speed it.
Split left, Tillman, slot left. Shepard. Now Shepard goes in motion to the right, reverses himself. They'll run the option left. Grill is hit, and he'll go down at the 15. This time, for the first time, Central has stopped the option of Grill. Mascalino there, helped out by a host of Crusader defensive players, Treglia and a couple of others, but Mascalino stuffed that play up, and Grill gets only 1. It'll be 3rd and 6 at the Central 15.
Well, another outstanding play by Bobby Mascalino as he was able to fight off the man in front of him and really botch that thing up as far as Big Red was concerned. Grill never was able to do anything.
This is the 9th play of the drive that started at the Big Red 42, all on the ground. Now in motion and slotting right is Fletcher. Fake the draw. Grill rolls out. He has time. He's looking. He can run, but he throws. Diving. Did he get it? Tillman? No signal. They said he trapped it. Incomplete in the end zone. Tillman dove. Thought he had it. The officials did not show touchdown, and then the sideline official said he trapped the football, and the touchdown is disallowed with 4 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Tillman with a nice diving play. We couldn't tell from here as far away as we can get from the press box.
That's exactly right, John. We couldn't tell whether that ball hit the ground or not. The official had a pretty good angle on it. He was pretty much on the call. So obviously we've got to go with his word. But Grill,
we should go over and look at the TV replay.
I think he could have run that ball, John.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind as Big Red goes for it on 4th and 6 at the Central 15. Pro I, Edwards in motion to join Tillman. Somebody might have ruled for the Big Red. No flag. Here goes Grill. Option left. Pitches back. Now we got a flag. The pitch back went off of the knees of Tyrone Roseberry and out of bounds. The horn is sounded. Quarter number 1 officially over, but maybe unofficially over because a flag was thrown, and normally that's in the holding or clipping area. Irregardless, no gain at the 15.
Here's the call.
Clip against Steubenville. The penalty will be declined, and Central will get the football, is my assumption, as Big Red opted to go to the short side with the option. And on the last 2 options, Central has closed it down. Clipping will be declined. No gain at the 15. Big Red gives the ball up on downs at the Crusader 15.
No, that's just outstanding defense on the part of the Crusaders as quarter number 1 has come to an end. And they just did everything they were asked to do, and they shut them down when they had to shut them down. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens here at the start of the second quarter.
No score at the end of one. They'll change goals. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Noise. Evidently, the crowd mic not performing up to snuff. Let's see if we can get another crowd mic in there.
Okay, John, while you make some technical repairs here, we'll just take a look at some of the performances by the Big Red running so far. Tyrone Roseberry 3 carries, 13 yards. Ricky Fletcher 4 carries for 20. Jeff Grill, quarterback, 5.
That sound better, Dulce? Okay.
This is Chris.
Sorry,
yeah,
folks.
it sounds real good now.
As Central takes over at their own 15, Freddie Manilak gets the handoff. He'll get short yardage as he snuffed over the right side. Central with their third possession, having started at their 21, their 29, and now their 15. Terry and Peace make the stop along with Talamon as a 3-yard pickup for Freddie Manilak, 2nd and 7.
Heard, that's for sure.
It's an I backfield for Central with a double tight end. Fake the pitch, handoff inside. Richardson across the 20 to the 21. Jim Keaton, along with Stevie Terry, makes the stop for the Big Red defense, helped out by Aaron Peace. Another 3-yard pickup. Central will have it 3rd and 4 at their own 21 with 11 minutes to go in the first half, and we're scoreless.
John, that's the part this season. It has worked very well for him. I look for Central possibly to go to some kind of a safe pass here. Maybe a 3rd and 4, just a little swing pass.
Again, double tight end, split backs. Here's the toss to Richardson, trying to get outside and knifing through and making the big defensive play was Jeff Bernard, the outside linebacker. Richardson had a convoy in front of him, but Bernard came from the backside and he got Richardson before he could get outside. It's a loss back to the 19. It'll be 4th down, and Central will have to punt for the 3rd time.
Well, that's just
the rush on. They haven't so far. As Polshaw punts for the 3rd time. No rush. They're putting a return on, high end over end. They're going to let it bounce, and that's a mistake. Luckily, it bounces into Fletcher's hands. He slips down, the whistle blows at the Big Red 47-yard line. It bounced near midfield, Roseberry, and Roseberry opted to let it bounce. It could have bounced by him and gone a long way because the field has to be extremely hard with the lack of rain we've had.
No, that's a good point, because the punt returner's got to catch that ball in the air.
34-yard punt, 1st and 10, Big Red. Their best field position at their own 47. They've got twins right, backs in an eye, fake the draw, rolling out, Grill, looking, he'll run. There's a flag in the backfield in the holding area at the 44-yard line. Grill is run out of bounds here in front of the Big Red bench by Colin Kelly, and it's holding against the Red. And that flag is back at the 44, so they'll mark it off from the 44. It'll be, in a sense, a 13-yard penalty, I think.
Well, that's
44, so the 10-yard mark-off takes it back to the Big Red 34. Their second penalty, it's only 10-yard penalty, but really it's a 13-yard penalty.
That's exactly right, and it's going to bring up a 1st and 23 for the Big Red.
They got twins left. The backs are in an eye, and Central has to call a timeout because there was a late entry on the defense, and that defender who came in, the defender going out, couldn't get off. The Crusaders call a timeout. 9:34 to go in the half. We're scoreless when we come back.
Funny thing about...
Saw one of the shows on TV before we came to the game, and 5:30, 5:45, there were people in the stands waiting for that Park and Brook game.
Well, it's 2nd and 23. 1st and 23 for the Red at their own 34. Trips left, rolling left. Grill looking, throwing, has a man Shepard in the flat. 35, 40, 45 across the Big Red, or the Central 45. He's hit by Polshaw. The ball pops loose, but it goes out of bounds into the Central bench. And that should be enough for a 1st down as they went with the trips as Shepard started as a wideout right, went in motion left to join the twins. It made it trips and nobody covered him out of the backfield. He moves to the Crusader 42-yard line.
They wanted to get defensive people backs into the football game. They thought Big Red was going to throw it, and they did.
Twins right, Palmer tight at left end. Backs are in an eye. Roseberry gets the handoff, lost the football on the bad exchange, but Big Red's Roseberry recovers, and he'll get a gain of it at the 41-yard line. Krieger on top of Roseberry, but Roseberry, with the bad exchange between he and Grill, picks up 1. 72 yards on the ground for the Red, their first fumble, but they have recovered it at the Crusader 41, and then their own 37 on their 3 possessions. Twins right, Tillman in motion. He crosses the line of scrimmage, and Big Red has made 3 mistakes with the 3 penalties.
I think Reno's signaling for a timeout here. He's not happy what he's seeing right now, and his team's a little out of kilter right now, and he's calling a timeout heading onto the field.
Well, when we return, it'll be 2nd down and 14 for the Red at the Central 46, and that'll be in 30 seconds. I know Smack Heron is a Taco Bell man. He goes for 3 and 4 at a time. I can't handle that Mexican food. My Italian stomach has had it over the years. Did we tell the story about Chuck Watt this evening?
Which story is that?
Well, the one about Chuck Watt walking to the ball game.
Oh,
when he saw us, he thumbed the ride.
Yeah, he stopped and hitched the ride from us.
I thought he was trying to get in shape. 2nd and 14. Chuck Watt scouting here up in the press box. During the spotting, as Grill rolls out on 2nd and long, he's under heavy heat. Marshall and Stanwyck, he turns the corner, though, at the 50, 45, and out of bounds. Talensic put a good stick on, along with Brian Krieger, as Grill was able to get back to the line of scrimmage at the Central 46, but I'll tell you what, he could have lost 10 back at the Big Red 45 as Stanwyck and Marshall were after him, but Grill was too quick.
Yeah, luckily he had the speed to turn the corner and get some little gain out of it for Big Red. Great pursuit that time by David Stanwyck and Stevie Marshall. They really put the heat on him. There's no way he had a chance to see any receivers downfield.
Big Red play actioning every time they attempt to pass. Grill is 1 of 4 for 24. There goes Edwards in motion. Rolling left. Grill looking, throwing, finding his man, Matt Shepard, who makes a catch in between 2 Crusader defenders. A strike thrown by Grill. It's close to a first down. Appears to be 1. Yanni and Talensic had double coverage, but Grill threaded the needle, and Shepard made a...
Right on the money that time. The receiver paid for it because Talensic and Yanni really put a good hit on him.
Meanwhile, Tillman is not in there again, and that leads me to believe that maybe something is wrong as the deep pitch goes to Roseberry. And Tyrone blasts only to the 30. Stanwyck got him, helped out by Marshall, and Stanwyck has been all over the field for the Crusader defense.
Well, he sure has. He and Mascalino and Kenny Richardson and Stevie Marshall right now have just played an outstanding game along with Tregley in the front line of Steubenville Central's defense.
A 1-yard pickup, 2nd and 9. Big Red's total offense is in the first quarter and a half, as we're scoreless with 7:36 to go here in the half, is 112 yards. Central has only gotten 24 total yards. Hargrave in motion. There's the draw play, looking for a hole, trying to get outside. Roseberry gets only to the 28. The first time he carried, he got 10 on the draw. Richardson, the outside backer, and Krieger, the inside backer, make the stop, as Roseberry will pick up 2 to the 28, and it'll make it 3rd and long for the Red. As they
being overly aggressive and letting these speedbacks run by him. They're sort of sitting back and waiting for the Big Red to come to them.
Tillman's back in. 2 wideouts left, 2 wideouts right. Grill back to pass. Grill is hit. He's still running. He gets away. He's looking. He's throwing. He's got Tillman. No! Shepard makes the catch. Inside the 5. Shepard drags the tackler into the end zone. Touchdown, Big Red. My goodness gracious. I did not see Matt Shepard. I saw Michael Tillman wide open. I thought the pass went yards. Shepard went about 10. Edwards to kick. Mafu to hold. 6-0 Big Red. Snap down. Kick up high enough, long enough. And out of here. 7-0 Steubenville on a spectacular play. 6:41 to go here, second quarter. We'll be back after this. Credit. He had 2 wideouts left. He had 2 wideouts right. He was back in the pocket, a short drop of 3 or 4 yards. He was hit. It looked like he was going down. He spun. He wiggled. He waggled. He got away, and he made the pass to
the end zone. That really got the crowd stirred here now.
Edwards deep at the 3. Manilak straight up the gut. Does he have the speed to get by the first guy? He does. He gets across the 20, and then he's decked at the 22, maybe the 23. Down there was Stevie Terry. Bottom of the pile was Mark Palmer, who we heard do an outstanding run.
Now defensive tackle, who he said's been all over the football field, just sort of draped around his leg, and he was managed to pull free and make the pass to Shepard.
Grill has hit his last 3 passes, all to Shepard, and Marcino's going deep. He's got Gibson out there. He can't get it at the big red 40-yard line as he had split the corner into safety, the corner being Matt Shepard and the safety being Jonathan Collier. And Marcino aired it out as he threw it from his own 15-yard line to the big red 40, and it was almost a perfect strike.
I really like the call because that's exactly what happened down at Martins Ferry for Central. They scored. Martins Ferry did. Central came right back on the very first play of the game, and he caught Maracino caught Gibson, and he had him beat that time. Had the pass just been thrown a little bit shorter.
Big Red's drive was 9 plays, 53 yards, and the 3 completions on the drive picked up a bulk of the yardage as Gibson goes in motion. They fake the toss. They hand off inside Richardson. He breaks a couple of tackles. He drags tacklers with him. One of them was Matt Shepard, who came up from his cornerback position. Also helping him out was Hargrave, and a nice gain by Kenny Richardson as he gets almost 9. As he crossed the 30 out to the 30, well, they moved the ball back a little bit. It's at the 32-yard line. It'll be short of a first down. As we got an official timeout, one of the big red players appears to be injured. 5:56 to go here in the first half. Steubenville 7, Central nothing. We'll be back after this. Red player, but he trotted off under his own power. Doesn't seem to have a problem. Maybe just a cramp on this extremely hot evening. 3rd and a yard and a half. Wishbone. Central lines up quickly. They give it to Richardson, and he has the first down. Central maybe caught the big red defense a little bit off guard because once the officials blew the whistle to get started, they were off the football. And they get the first down. Keaton makes the stop. That's only the Crusaders' 2nd first down as they trail with 5:44 to go in the half, 7-0.
Almost a quick huddle type situation. As you said, the whistle blew. They were right at the line of scrimmage. Big Red was sort of jumping around trying to get their alignment set. Central snapped the ball, and they were able to pick up the first down. I think that's an important first down for Central.
Richardson got a pair. 1st and 10 at their own 34. Pulshaw right, Gibson left, back split. Here goes Richardson. Tries to pick a hole over the left side. Richardson to the 38. Terry there. Hargrave there. Bernard there. Big Red gang tackling Kenny Richardson. Kenny gets 3 to the 37. 2nd and 7. Clock a-ticking. We're going to be under 5 minutes when this play takes off. Stats. They picked up 142 yards offensively. The Central's 37 as Freddie Manilak gets the carry off the eye blast over right guard and right tackle. Nate Burris makes the stop. Manilak crosses the 40 and gets to the 42. He'll pick up 5, bring up 3rd and 3.
John, that's Manilak's 3rd carry in the first half for 11 yards. Kenny Richardson has 10 carries for 30 yards in the first half. So those 2 guys have carried the ball. Maracino hasn't carried it at all.
Coolin is in. First time we've seen him. He split to the right. Gibson split to the left. And Wilson is tight at left end. The backs are split on 3rd and short. Richardson left side, knifes through, breaks across midfield into Big Red territory as Matt Shepard finally brings him down. And it doesn't take Kenny Richardson much to get underway. Just give him a little crease as he ducks behind his offensive lineman and usually breaks a tackle. And he gets the best gain of the evening. We'll call it midfield and give him 8. Central's first down, their 3rd and 2nd on the drive with 4:05 to go in quarter number 2. But Big Red leads at 7-0. Central for the first time in Big Red territory as the ball is just across the 50.
Outstanding blocks that time by Brian Tregley and Dan Sweeney, allowing Richardson to get the 8 yards.
Richardson on the dive, stretches his body. 2 to the 48, 2nd and 8.
Off the right side.
For the football, and tight at right end is Wilson. The backs are in an eye. Big Red in their 4-4. 3 defense. Gibson in motion. Arcino on the draw to Manilak. Big hole left side, 50, 45. Cuts it back, 40. Dives to the 38. Stevie Terry finally gets him along with Matt Shepard. But a nicely executed draw play to the tailback. We saw the draw earlier to Richardson that didn't work. This time it went to the tailback.
That's right. Freddie Manilak got a good read that time because a big hole opened up. It looked as though it was designed to go up the middle. He hit it into the middle and then popped it to the outside. A nice 11-yard gain for Fred Manilak.
Well, now we'll give him 9. 48 to the 39, but 2 big gains on this drive. One by Richardson. Central now with the 3rd straight first down. Here comes the blitz. Marcino rolls away from pressure, throws over the middle. Wilson dives, can't hold it at the 29. Pretty good throw, pretty good coverage, and pretty good effort. Wilson.
And Big Red that time changed up defensively. As you mentioned, they did come with a semi-blitz.
I don't know if that was Bernard or not, but had Marcino not rolling out, he was a dead duck in the backfield.
Big Red guessed right defensively, but the Central had the right play call. They rolled out.
10th play of this Crusader drive that started at their 24 after the Big Red touchdown. Two-step drop, quick out. The defender falls down. Coolin makes a grab at the 35. Zigs and zags and then is pounded out of bounds. And now we have a flag. Roseberry, the defender, fell down. Okay? Coolin caught, turned, and then another Big Red defender came over. That was Ricky Fletcher. He made the hit along with Roseberry, and then when Coolin went out of bounds, Fletcher gave him a shove, and the flag came. The gain was from the 39 down to about the 30, and then the 15-yard add-on will put Central in excellent position to score somewhere around the 15-yard line.
Yeah, John, everything was okay until the end of the play when Ricky Fletcher just decided to, push the receiver Coolin a little bit extra, and the official was standing right there, and he called the penalty, and I think it was a justifiable penalty.
8-4. Central gets their 4th straight first down, and then the 15-yard penalty, the 4th against Big Red, puts it at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10. Double tight. Gibson in motion. Central opened up with this formation. Handoff. Richardson. Sutter steps to the 11, but we got a flag in the Crusader backfield.
Knocked down at about the 11.
Burris makes a stop, but it's going to be against the Crusaders.
Tripped up by Terry and pinned down by Burris.
Just a little quick in the backfield, and I think
it is against the Crusaders. It'll make it 1st and 15, and that's their first penalty of the evening, and you don't want it when you're driving because there's nothing like a penalty to take away the momentum you've had in this.
Central, if they were able to stick it in the end zone.
14th play of the drive with the 2 penalties. Double tights. Polshaw is a wing left. He'll go in motion to the right with the back split. Long count Marcino. Trap play. Richardson, he's grabbed and wrestled to the ground by Stevie Terry, who shot the gap from his inside linebacker position, holding Richardson to no gain at the 20. 2nd and 15.
John, Big Red had been sitting back a little bit. We saw them on 2 occasions now sort of
be performing. Jim Marabella from Catholic Central and Jonas this evening. It's so nice out there. Polshaw and Gibson are twins left. The Wilson tied it right in. Now Gibson goes in motion to the right. Long count. Marcino straight back in the pocket. Little flip screen out to Manilak. He breaks the tackle 20. He's at the 15. He spins inside the 10. He's down to the 7, short of the first down. And making the tackle, Stevie Terry, who's all over this football field this evening, and we've got a Crusader injured. Looks like one of their offense will be back after this.
High school football is king in the Ohio.
Appears to be okay. Might have been a cramp. 13-yard pickup on that screen left. 3rd and 2 at the Big Red 7. Central double tights wishbone. Manilak, left side. Manilak has the first down inside the 5. Richardson, the lead blocker, along with Yanni at the 4. Normally, you don't see Manilak carry on the wishbone. It's almost always Richardson, the Big Red. Fooled there as, wait a minute, timeout Catholic Central. 1st and goal, Crusaders at the 4. Let's take this 30-second pause, and we'll be back for the final 51 seconds of this exciting first half in 30 seconds.
A long drive by the Crusaders.
Oh, how long?
Very long.
No mustard, thank you, Mr. Hollywood. no, you want some ketchup, Mr. Nolan?
No, thank you.
Well, Big Red scored at the 6:41 mark of this quarter. So Central has had the ball approximately 6 minutes with 51 seconds ago. Wishbone, 1st and goal. Richardson left side. Burris grabs him as he crosses the 5. He might have got down to the 3, possibly the 2. Nate Burris caught him high.
John, Central's going to have to take another timeout here right now, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do and decide what they're going to run or pass or what exactly they're going to come up with.
Well, they got 2. Very similar to the Big Red drive because going into the Big Red touchdown drive, Grill had not completed a pass. Well, on the drive, he completed 3 for 67 yards. Not that couldn't be. Yes, it could be.
And of course,
because there was some penalties in the Big Red drive. It only went 53 yards. Well, whatever. The drive's very similar. Running and passing have been helpful. In other words, a little variety in your offense.
John, Central traditionally down in this area has powered the football in. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that against Steubenville. I look for an option. They're going to go wishbone, and I look for option with Maracino.
Yanni, Bloomer, and Richardson. Handoff. Yanni dives. He's near the goal line. No signal. Stop short of the goal line. Central lines up quickly. 3rd and goal at the 1. Clock a-moving. Central with no timeouts left. They're unbalanced left. They'll go left again. No. Rolling out. Maracino. He dives. Did he get in? Yes, he did. They went unbalanced left. They faked the power drive left on a naked bootleg. Maracino looking for a receiver. Found nobody. The corners came up and hit him hard. 21, Ricky Fletcher almost prevented Travis Maracino from getting in, and had he not got in, Joe, there was no way that Central could have stopped the clock. The half would have ran out. There are 13 seconds to go in the first half. 7-6 on for the conversion, an important kick to tie the game. Sophomore Mike Kuzakowski snapped down, kick up, long enough, into the Crusader band. 13 seconds to go in the half. We're tied at 7. It's exciting. You still got time to get on out here, folks. Watch the bands and catch the second half.
It's a great one.
We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Making it sweet, making it hot. Tangy and tasty, melting on top.
Bring your biggest appetites and get...
That took 19 plays, a couple of penalties included, that traveled 76 yards, Joe, and we're tied at 7. Big Red scoring at the 6:41 mark of quarter number 2. Central scoring at the 13-second mark, so you add them up, and you realize that it took Central 6 minutes and 6 minutes and 28 seconds to score on that drive. A 1-yard rollout by Maracino as Kuzakowski will squib it right down the middle, taken by one of the upbacks. Carrying the mail for the Big Red is Shane Nalepa, quarterback and a specialty man, and he's downed at the 35 as he was running laterally. In on the Crusader stop, Ryan Chapano, along with 21, Stevie Marshall, with 5 seconds to go in the half. And Big Red will have to quickly get out of the huddle because the clock will stop, but they will call a timeout. So Coach Suckoch, hoping to air one up and have something good happen, will air it out. 7-7, 5 seconds to go in the half. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
To have this many people turn out here this evening, and I'm sure that there are people here from other schools in the Valley, just because the game, both teams are 7-0, but most of the fans are Big Red and Central fans. You are to be congratulated.
Twins left, single receiver right, and Drill is back in the pocket. I just think he's going to air out. He gets some pressure. He rolls out. He's looking. He's throwing it as far as he can throw it. And it's going to be intercepted on the sideline by the Crusaders. That's Gibson. He's at the 50. He's at the 45. He's driven out of bounds as the horn sounds the end of the first half, and we got a flag. And that means Central will get another play.
That's exactly right, John. Another personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Steubenville Big Red.
So the half cannot end on a penalty, I don't think. Now, let's wait a minute. The interception, well, the squads are going to the locker room.
How about on the kickoff coming back?
Maybe. I don't know my rules, so I'll let the officials square that out. I know Coach Suckoch was not real happy with the Big Red defensive player. Now they're going to talk about this. I don't think that the half can end.
What if they refuse it?
Well, I wouldn't refuse it.
No, I'm just saying, though, what if the possibility if they did decide to refuse it?
Well, then the half would end.
Half would be over there.
Yeah, but Central would have the football at approximately the
40,
Big Red 31-yard line because the ball is at the Big Red 46-yard line. And again, I don't know my rules, and we'll just let the officials talk about it. I know there is some type of a rule that says there's a personal foul against Big Red after Gibson was run out of bounds. He was shoved into the bench. So the pass interception by Gibson on a pass intended for Tillman. He intercepted at the Big Red, at the Central 25 and returned approximately 30 yards. Now the officials are sorting it out, and maybe they need their rule book because they're talking about it. Well, I think there's going to be another play.
I think you're right, John, because Central is coming back on the field. The bands now are going to have to leave the field, so we've had sort of a little confusing type situation here, but nonetheless, the situation is that Central probably is going to end up with one more play, and they're going to have the ball somewhere around the 31, 32-yard line of Big Red. and they'll just have to decide whether they want to run it out or put it up and go for it all.
Well, I got to believe you're going to throw it.
Oh, I agree, too.
And you got fair field position.
Throw it into the end zone.
Well, wait a minute. Let's see what's going on here. One penalty was declined. That appeared to be an eligible receiver downfield. The personal foul penalty assessed against the Big Red as the crowd mic of the referee. Now they're going to the locker rooms. Evidently, it may happen to start the third quarter. All we know is it's exciting. Standing room crowd only. Terrific night. Beautiful evening. 7-7's your score. We'll be back for the Crusader Band in 30 seconds.
Fans are reminded that the 13th annual Big Red Band Varsity Show will be held on Friday, November 1st at 8 p.m. at the Senior High School Auditorium. Tickets are available from any band member.
A 9-play, 53-yard drive. Edwards converts, 6:41 to go in the second quarter. The kickoff started at their own 24-yard line. They traveled 76 yards in 19 plays with a pair of penalties. The score, 3rd and goal at the 1. Marcino on a bootleg rollout around the right side. He just got into the end zone with 13 seconds to go in the half. Kuzakowski converted a 6-minute and 28-second Steubenville in half number 1 as Kuzakowski will tee it up. And Tillman and Roseberry will stand inside the 5.
John, I look for some type of a squib type of kick here rather than kicking it where the receiver can get under the ball and get a good running start. Central, I think, will put the ball on the ground. They're kicking from Big Red's 45-yard line. They're going to try to line drive it right down the middle.
As you know, Kuzakowski does not have a lot of distance on his kicks. Tillman and Roseberry at the 5, 7-7. We're underway here as we're waiting the official's whistle to start the third quarter. 7-0, both squads looking to go undefeated. One will not. High and short. Tillman at the 10 on the run. Slips, then cuts. He's at the 15. Reverses field. Gets away from a tackler. He's back at the 10. Picks up a block. 20. Tries to get outside. Breaks another tackle at 25. Still rolling. He's at the 30-yard line before he finally goes down. An exciting run by Michael Tillman. He returns only 20 yards, but he had to run about 40.
Yeah, that's exactly right, John. He ran about 40 to 50 yards, brought it back 20. He started here on the left.
I think it was Marshall who finally brought him down. 1st and 10, Big Red, starting the third quarter at their own 30. Dive left side, going quickly to the outside. The ball carrier, Ricky Fletcher, he crosses the 40. He barrels out to the 43. Finally brought down in the secondary by Anthony Yanni, but Ricky Fletcher and the Red have come out fired up, and on the first play of the second half, Fletcher gets a huge gain of 13.
Yeah, one of the best single carries of the evening for any of the Big Red backs. They showed good blocking up front that time and just powered it with Ricky Fletcher.
Shepard, who caught 3 passes, all 3 passes completed by Grill in the first half, is split left, or split right. Tillman is split left. The backs are also split. Option right. Turns it up. Grill, 45, 49, and hammered down. Good open field tackle by the Crusaders, Anthony Yanni from the secondary. Grill gets 6. Big Red moving on their first position.
150 pounds. Johnny put a pretty good hit on him. Grill picks up a nice 6.
Crow eye for the Red. Palmer tied it left end. Edwards in at one of the wideouts. Central stays in that 4-4 defense. Option left, pitch back, getting the carry on the pitch back, Roseberry, and he's hit hard. Talensik and Raymond Chapano put the good lick on, as it appeared that Roseberry was going to get some good yardage. But the outside linebacker in the corner came up quickly. Got an official timeout to measure near the Central 48-yard line. On the far side of the field, in front of the Central bench where the sticks are to the Big Red bench, it's short by about a foot. So it'll be third down at the Central 48. Big 8. 2 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Big Red trying to drive for the go-ahead touchdown. They're in a power I left double tight end. First time we've seen this formation. Grill to his deep man. And that's Darius Alexander powering behind the blocking of Fletcher and Roseberry, getting his first carry of the evening and also getting a Big Red first down. We've got Galtier along with 51 Prager, the two inside linebackers, but Darius Alexander running.
Time Terry Keaton and Alexander just to power it straight ahead, get the first down.
Twins right, backs in an eye. Option to the short side. Grill not even thinking about pitching. Drives to the 42 for short yardage. Treglia there. Galtier and also Prager, the two inside linebackers and the defensive end. Grill not even thinking about the pitch. On the option left, picks up 2, 2nd and 8.
That was a short side design run all the way. He spins out of there, options down the line of scrimmage. He never had any desire to pitch the ball that time at all. He tucked it and ran for about 2.
Chapano has 1-on-1 coverage with Tillman, and that could be a mismatch. Now Fletcher is a wing right. Roll out right. Grill drops the ball, picks it up at midfield. He's dragged down by Stanwyck. Helped out by Talensik. Grill on a naked bootleg had the ball on his hip, and as he was rolling out right near midfield, all of a sudden the ball slipped out of his hand and he was in trouble, and he loses 6 back to the 48. Stanwyck and Talensik getting him.
Well, fortunately for Jeff Grill and Big Red, he was able to come up with that ball because Stanwyck was in there very quickly, and Jeff Grill was spinning around a little bit, and the ball did lay on the floor for about a second or so, and Stanwyck was not able to pick it up, but he was able to bring him down.
3rd and 14 at the Central 48. Shepard's the wing left. Tillman split right. Now Shepard in motion to the right. Grill rolls right. He's looking for Tillman. He's throwing over the middle, incomplete. He underthrew him at the first down yardage mark. Tillman knew where he was going. He stopped at the Central 33, but the ball hit a yard in front of him, and the pass is incomplete, and Big Red sends in the punting unit.
Well, Tillman was open. He got to the first yard down marker. Actually got a yard beyond it, but the pass was a little bit short. Central defense makes a good stand here to open up the second half.
Edwards the punt. Paul-Sean Yanni will stand at the Central 15. The up man is Talensik. Central, like Big Red, not putting the rush on. Good snap. They've got the return on. Beautiful spiraling punt by Edwards. Yanni drops it at the 10. It's inside the 5. They dive for it. It's loose. It's in the end zone. It's a touchback. The referee signaled touchback. Surprising. Now there's a conference. I don't know who came up with it. Big Red says they got it, but they're still fighting for it in the end zone. I think what he said was the impetus carried the ball into the end zone after Yanni wasn't able to hold it. But, you know, I don't know the rules. Now we got a huddle and we got a conference. I don't know who came up with it, but we'll sort it out and see what the call is.
Well, 4 out of the 5 officials are meeting right now in the left corner of the end zone, and they met rather quickly.
They're going to call it a touchback. That's a break for the Crusaders.
Wow, is it ever?
Because Yanni could not get on it. It was still loose at the 2-yard line. It went into the end zone. We don't know who got it, but the punt covers 48 yards. We'll call it a 48-yard punt on the muff. And Central, with a big break, has it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They would have been in deep trouble, even if had they recovered it.
John, that's a case of knowing what the rule is, and I don't know exactly what the rule is on that particular play. So for me to say that it should have been a touchback or a touchdown or whatever, I don't know. The officials are the ones that are in charge of the game.
Reno Suckots getting his explanation. Big Red held the ball for 4 minutes. Many fans not agreeing. Again, I don't know the rules. That's why the officials are paid good bucks to know the rules.
Well, John, Reno...
I know the baseball rules, but Chuck Watt will question me on that.
Reno seemed to be very, satisfied with the call. He didn't, he didn't put up much argument whatsoever.
Throw set for Marcino. Gibson in motion. Richardson gets the handoff. He gets to the corner. He's at the 25. Richardson at the 27. Play designed to go off tackle, but Richardson found no hole. He got to the outside, dragged down by Mark Palmer. But not before Kenny Richardson was able to pick up a nice gain on first down of 7 to the Central 27. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Well, like I said in the first half, John Neese, I think this is a very important down for Central, that first down where they can pick up 5 and 6 and 7 yards. If they can do that and be in short yardage where they're not forced to throw the ball, I think they're going to be better off.
They're in the eye with Twins right. Mixed up in the backfield. Marcino's hit for a loss. Driving him back was Nate Burris. Marcino looked like he was faking the pitch to Manilak and trying to hand off to Richardson, and we've seen that play before, but somebody wasn't where they were supposed to be. And to the right, Wilson tied it right in. Marcino back in the pocket, quick out. Polshaw has the first down on the short out. He's driven out of bounds on the far side by Tyrone Roseberry. That's nothing but a quick 5-yard out on a timing play. Roseberry giving Polshaw room. Easy first down on the quick out. Marcino with maybe a 2 or 3 step drop. Polshaw will gain to the 32 and pick up 7 and give Central their 7th first down and first of the half.
Now Roseberry off, and the pass was right there. Good throw by Marcino.
Marcino has hit his last 3. He's 3 of 6 for 29. Throw set. Richardson, handoff left side, hitting the backfield, breaks the first tackle, will not get by the second wave of tacklers. Grabbing him in the backfield was Trey Hargrove, but he couldn't hold on to him, but he slowed Richardson down. And Richardson luckily got back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10 at the 32.
Hargrove was able to...
2nd and 10. Polshaw and Gibson, Twins left. Wilson tied it right in. Backs in an eye as Gibson goes in motion here to the near side. 2nd and long. Deep handoff. Manilak on the blast. Gets to the 35. Nate Burris there jamming the play up on the bottom of the pile. 44, Jimmy Keat. A couple of the defensive tackles.
The long pass that Central threw to intended to Gibson. Everything's been basically short, conservative type passing. They need 7 here. I look for him to go back to do the same thing. Short, look for the tight end, Wilson.
Pro set. Marcino back in the pocket. He's under pressure. He's going to go down back at the 25. Big Red put the blitz on. They might have been thinking about the middle screen to Richardson, but Marcino had no chance whatsoever. They were all over him. Ken Talamine, Aaron Peace.
On this punt as well.
They haven't yet this evening. They don't. They're setting the return up. Polshaw high, end over end. Roseberry fields at his 48, and he's immediately down by Stephen Marshall. Good punt coverage, but that was because of the hang time. Polshaw didn't hit it real long, but he hit it extremely high, and there's no return. Punt
Tillman pretty much out of the game as far as his offense is concerned. He's their big play man. I would look for Big Red possibly to start thinking about throwing the ball to him. He's getting a lot of one-on-one coverage.
Well, they split him about 20 yards left. Shepard's to the right. He's caught all 3 passes. Play action. Grill back. Over the middle. Has his man, but in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Ricky Fletcher, coming out of the backfield. Chapano and Yanni hit him as the ball went into the fingertips of Ricky, and he dropped it at the Central 37-yard line.
Well, the fake went to Ricky Fletcher on the play, and then he managed to slide in behind the linebackers there and settle down 15, 18 yards downfield. Anthony Yanni got there the same time the ball did and was able to shake it loose.
3 of 9 for Grill for 67, a TD and an intercept. 4:28 to go third quarter. We're still tied at 7. Throw I. Now Fletcher shifts, and he's a wing back right. Here comes the counter play. Roseberry into the secondary. 45, 40, 35. Roseberry finally brought down on a huge gain. Huge being 13 yards, but in this game, that is a huge gain and a big first down. Rich Gaultier finally brought him down after the 13-yard pickup.
On that formation, Big Red...
First and 10, Big Red's 3rd of the half and 10th of the game. They're at the Crusaders' 35. Throw set, Palmer tied it left in. Dive play, Fletcher tries to get to the outside, breaks 1 tackle, won't break Yanni's tackle, but he's still going. He's carrying him with him. He doesn't want to go down. He's down to the 27. Ricky Fletcher. Yanni finally brought him down with help from Richardson, but that's as good an effort as we've seen all year. He was down at the third.
Wait and see if it gets the Big Red team fired up. That's a good run by Rick Fletcher.
He picks up 8, but I'll tell you what, he earned the last 4 as he just dragged Anthony Yanni with him. Back to pass on 2nd and 3. Quick out. Tillman makes the reception, gets away from the first defender. That was Gibson, and then he's run out of bounds on the far side of the field by Richardson. And let me see, 51, Krager. The quick 5-yard out to Michael Tillman, who gets his first reception of the evening, and Tillman appears to be injured over near the fence.
You know, we might think he's injured, but Tillman's staying in the game.
14-yard pickup. They spot the ball at the 13. 1st and 10, Big Red. They're threatening to break the tie. Pro I, long count Grill. Grill options left. Looks for the pitch, fakes it. Is hit at the 11 and stood up, and then hammered down by 5 white jerseys. Crusaders, and that initial hitter, I think, was Anthony Yanni, who put the good pop on. Grill got to the 10 for 3, but he paid for it. It's 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that's a hard.
Tillman to the left. The backs are offset. Roseberry, the tailback. Palmer tight at right end. Counter play. Big hole. Roseberry breaks the tackle. 10. He's at the 5. He drives. He's into the end zone. Big Red lead. 13 to 7. Tyrone Roseberry on that counter play. A huge hole opened up. We had a great view of it. He was hit at the 5, but he didn't want to go down. He was not to be denied, and he takes it in on a 10-yard run. Edwards in for the conversion. Mafu the holder. Snap is down. Kick is up. It's high enough. It's long enough. And it is wide to the right. 2:28 to go, 3rd quarter. Big Red 13, Catholic Central 7. We'll be back after this.
The delicious words.
Jump back on top, 13-7. The drive covered 52 yards in 6 plays after a Crusader punt.
We saw Big Red backs that time on 2 occasions dragging a number of Central defenders on the play. A couple of plays previous to that, Ricky Fletcher, a great effort where he drugged 3 or 4 guys. That time, Tyrone Roseberry from about the 5-yard line carried 2 guys in. Big Red backs running hard in the second half.
Edwards straight down the pipe. Manilak at the 5 behind the wall. 10, 15, 20, hole, 25, 30, 32. Finally spun down. Almost broke it. Making the stop was Mark Palmer, but Freddie Manilak showed a burst of speed, Joe, at the 20, but he saw the hole open up. Give Palmer credit. He made a big tackle. It could have been a huge return.
Yeah, because fast the Central return team.
1st and 10, Crusaders. Quick toss to Richardson. Gets a block from Stanwyck, but is knocked down at the 35 on a good block tackle by Aaron Peace, the inside linebacker. Otherwise, Kenny would have had a nice gain. He'll get 3.5. We'll give him 4 to the 36. Good defensive play by linebacker Peace.
Yeah, and a good block, as you mentioned, John Neese, by David Stanwyck pulling from his tackle position. He pulled that linebacker off and allowed Richardson to get 4.
2nd and 6 for the Crusaders. 1:35 to go, 3rd quarter. Big Red on top, 13 to 6, and we'll see if that extra point missed that was wide is important as this game progresses. Dive play Richardson, stood up by Jimmy Keaton, helped out by Kenny Talamine, and Aaron Pease also in on the stop. Richardson short yardage as he was stood up at the 38. 3rd and 4 after the 2-yard pickup.
Son, I have to mark running 165-pounder.
Possession down for the Crusaders. 3rd and 4. Their last possession, Marcino was sacked. He's back in the pocket. He's hit. He gets away. He's at the 40. He's at the 44, and he dives for a 1st down at the 45. Travis Marcino was in big trouble, but the little man was able to squeeze between the big men, and he got it out. They say his knee touched at the 44. Only 6 yards, but a big 1st down for Catholic Central to maintain possession late here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, that's a good decision by Travis Marcino. He saw the pressure coming, felt it coming from the outside. The middle was wide open, and he was able to scoot it up through, get down to the ground, stay very low, and pick up that big first down for Central on this drive.
Well, when Big Red scored in the middle of the second quarter, Central answered quickly. They're trying to answer again as Big Red has scored here in the third quarter. Quick pitch out to the right side. Palmer nails Richardson in the backfield for a loss. A lot of penetration. Palmer showing good quickness to the outside. Richardson, as Joe told you a few moments ago, is not a runner that likes to go outside, and he doesn't have that good speed. He's an inside runner. He will lose as the third quarter comes to a close. Richardson uses a yard back to the 43. When we come back, it'll be 13-7 when we start the fourth quarter. Big Red leads.
West Virginia, I believe Wheeling Park was ranked number 1 in their power rating system. Brooks somewhere down in what, 5, 6, and 12th?
12.
Okay, so the Island Stadium, I'm sure, is jam-packed just like Harding Stadium is here tonight. And that football game down there couldn't be any better than this football game is here.
Here it's 13-7. Big Red scoring. 2:28 to go in the third quarter on a Roseberry as we start the fourth quarter. Draw play. Richardson picks his hole, cuts it back. He's at the 45. He fumbles the ball at midfield, but a Crusader falls on it at the Big Red 49 to get another yard. Good pop put on Kenny Richardson, who rarely fumbles the ball. Ken Talamon put the pop on, and the recoverer is Rich Galtier, and that's a big recovery by Galtier as Central gets an extra yard. Richardson we'll give him 8 with the fumble at the 49. It'll be 3rd and 3. 50 yards to Central's 5. 3rd and 4. Richardson to the outside. He's near the first down marker. It's going to be close at the Big Red 46 and a half, or 45 and a half.
That's going to depend on the forward progress and the mark, and the officials are going to call for the sticks right away to be brought in from the far side. It's going to be very, very close.
Palmer, Shepard over there making the stop along with Roseberry. But go for it on 4th down with 11:05 to go in the contest. They stretch the chains. Rufus Reeves leaps over the change. It's a Crusader first down. They're 9th and 3rd of the half.
John, I would have agreed with you. I think Central had every idea or intention to go for it because it had to be just make it by inches, and if it had been short, it would have only been short by inches. And I think being down 13-7 as they are, they would have definitely gone for it rather than kick the ball back to Big Red.
Give Richardson 4. Give Central their 9th first down, and we'll call it at the Big Red 45. 10:52 to go in the game. 13-7 Steubenville. Throw set. Here goes Gibson in motion to join Coolin on the far side. Marcino back. Steps up in the pocket. He's hit and he's sacked. Nate Burris. We may have a face mask. Burris made the stop. He's not too happy.
He's also going to get called for the penalty, too.
Well, we said.
Face mask,
We
yes.
said it was a face mask on Burris, and he's not too happy.
Well, the
clock's still running. Central players pointing at the clock. I don't know where it stopped. It stopped at 10:20, but it should have stopped sooner.
Pass coverage broke down a little bit that time. The Central linemen were not able to keep the Big Red out of there. Burris was able to make the tackle as Marcino was running ahead, though. He reached out and grabbed him by the face mask, and it's going to bring up a penalty against Big Red.
A loss 6th of the evening against Big Red, and the first down is Central's 4th of the half and 10th of the game. And they get a huge break because it would have been 2nd and 14 for Central. Twins right for the Crusaders. Backs in an eye on the blast. Manilak gets across the 35, maybe to the 33. Terry there. Palmer there. And 44, Keaton there. Manilak gets a pair to the 33. 2nd and 8. Central with 87 yards and 34 running plays, so Big Red has done an excellent job.
And Manilak, Central playing very solid, though, basically tackle to tackle, running the football.
2nd 8, double tight ends, pitch to Richardson to the outside. He cuts it back. He gets to the 31. Defense closing well. Aaron Peace makes the stop at the 31. Gain of only 2. 3rd and 6.
So quick is their offense.
Double tights with an eye backfield. Draw play, Manilak, 35, 30, Manilak across the 25, has enough for a first down. They ran the draw the first time to Richardson. It went nowhere. They've run the draw twice since to Manilac off the eye, and it's gone somewhere. That pickup of 7 to the 24. Central with their 11th play of the drive. They started their own 32. They're doing the same thing they did after the first Big Red score. They took all day, over 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go 76 yards. Now they have moved almost 4 minutes into this quarter. They're over 6 minutes on this drive as they've netted their 11th first down. 1st and 10 at the 24 after the 7-yard pickup. Backs in an eye, pro eye. Deep handoff. Manilac tries to cut to the outside, and he's smeared for a loss at the 25. Freddie trying to cut before he got to the hole was in big trouble.
So on the draw play on the previous play is working basically for 2 reasons. Number 1, the blocking up front has been excellent. Number 2, Big Red is really pursuing very hard from the outside, and once Central opens that middle up with the excellent blocking, there is yardage for them to run, and they've run that draw play rather effectively on 2 or 3 occasions this evening.
No gain for Manilac. They spotted at the 24.5. Give credit to Ken Talamine for the big hit. 2nd and 10. 7:33 to go in the game. Marcino, quick drop. He's under trouble. He's sacked again. Mark Palmer got him. Big Red putting all kind of heat on Marcino. Central appears to need to roll him out like we saw him in the first half, because in his 3 passing attempts in this half, he's been sacked.
They have to roll him out, give him a little time, and spread the defense of the Big Red out.
The loss is 9. 3rd and 19. Play action. Marcino back. He's hit again. He's sacked at the 40. This time it was Trey Hargrove. Big Red defense rushing, putting extreme pressure on, and the Crusaders with 4th and a mile will probably punt. This loss is back to the 39. 6 yards on this sack, 9 on the last.
Two big plays for the Big Red defense. They came real hard right.
Big Red appears not to be rushing again. High end over end. Tillman at the 12. Fields it, looks for a block. We've got a flag. Tillman down at the 15. Marshall down there. Talensik down there. Bloomer down there. Tillman didn't have a chance. He returns for 3. Punt covered 27 yards, 3-yard return, but a flag.
So I saw one of the Big Red players coming off and signaling to their coaching staff holding, so we'll just have to wait and see whether that is the call, and that's going to start Big Red even deeper than where they are.
6:05 to go, holding Steubenville. They've had 7 penalties.
For the football in there, trying to rip it out of somebody's arms.
The Big Red fans are hushing. The penalty was marked off from the 15 to the 5. That's 10 yards. That's not the correct procedure.
No, it's half.
It should be at the 7.5.
Right. Half the distance penalty.
We'll call it an 8-yard penalty. 1st and 10, the Red. At their own 7. Clock running. Will be under 6 minutes when Grill gets the snap. Twins right, split left. Only one back behind Grill. He's back in the pocket. He's going for the home run to Tillman. Tillman has double coverage. It's almost into the seats. Gibson and Yanni had Tillman. So Coach Succott's saying, we're going to try to get out of the hole with 1 home run pass, but Central had the double coverage on Tillman.
They had the double coverage plus the sideline. They had Tillman very closely pushed up against the sideline as he was streaking down the sideline. The pass was really overthrown about almost in the first row of seats.
So it's 2nd and 10 with the clock stopped at 5:52. Here's where they run the counter, the way they're set up.
That or the deep draw.
With Roseberry. Nope, he's going to option right his Grill. He's got running room, but he slips down trying to cut at the 10. Richardson and Stanwyck covered him. So it'll be 3rd and long. They mark Jeff down at the 10. Pick up a 3 of the Red with 130 yards on 29 running plays. Central has had 39 running plays.
Well, that option is a very high-risk offense, and I'm sure that Grill was under instructions. Unless we absolutely got the pitch man, let's hold on to the ball.
5:20 to go. Possession down. 3rd and 7 at the Steubenville 10. Shepard in motion to join Tillman. Rolling out left. Grill looking for Tillman. Throws, and Michael grabs it in traffic for a first down at the 20-yard line. Grill put it up high, and as you know, Tillman can leap, and he makes the big grab before he's brought down by linebacker Krager at the 20, a 10-yard pickup, and that's Michael Tillman's second catch, both here in the second half. He's picked up 24 on...
6 foot, so throw it up here and let him just take it away from him.
What a start beside that first down. It's a big one with 4:45 to go. Twins right eye backfield. Here goes Roseberry into the secondary. 30. One man to beat. Breaks the tackle. 40. Midfield. Talensik with the angle. 30. 20. Talensik pushes him out of bounds inside the 20 at the 19. Tyrone Roseberry with the big run of the football game from the Big Red 20 to the Catholic Central 19-yard line as Roseberry picks up a huge 61 yards and gets Big Red out of the hole with 4:32 to go in the contest and a 6.13-7 lead.
Well, that's by far the biggest play in the football game. That plus the catch, as you mentioned, John, right before that, where Big Red was...
61-yard gain. They're in the Power Hour. Big Red for the second time this evening. Darius Alexander, the tailback with a double tight end. Alexander on the blast. Leaps over one tackler. Gets to the 15. He drives down to the 11-yard line. Darius Alexander has only a second carry, but it's a huge one. Richardson was there. Bloomer was there. Galtier was there, but they couldn't bring him down initially.
And carry for Alexander. He had 4 on the first. That 7 gives him 11 on 2 carries tonight, but strong running.
Equipment adjustment, time called for number 70. Is that 72 for Central?
32. That's 32. Scott Bloomer.
Scotty Bloomer's playing the nose guard.
He's moved inside.
Central's in a 6-man front. Power eye left, double tights for the Red. Alexander again on the blast. Alexander into the pile, breaks out of the pile. He's at the 5 and down. Alexander almost got to the outside and would have scored, but he has enough for a first down as Yanni finally got him, along with Talensik. Darius Alexander.
Drive right here. He's come up with 2 very solid runs of 7 and 7.
Let's give him 6. First and goal at the 6. This time they're in an eye backfield. Alexander the tailback. He's got fresh legs. Option right. It's there if he pitches. Grill tries to keep. Grill dives. Out of bounds at the 1. Talensik got him. He thought he had the angle, and rightfully so. He decided not to...
Saying to himself, if we don't have to pitch the ball, we're not going to pitch it. We're just going to hold on to it.
They got the eye backfield. Power eye again. Keaton. Quarterback sneak. Grill. Touchdown. Big Red 19-7 with 3:12 to go. Play. Tyrone Roseberry on the trap. Traveled 61 yards to the Central 19. 4 plays later, Big Red takes it in with Keaton, and it's 19-7, and they'll go for 2. Roseberry, the tailback, fake the pitch out, rolling out. There's a mine wide open. It's Fletcher for the 2-point conversion. Well-conceived extra point play as Grill took a pop from Bloomer after he threw it. Fletcher with a reception, 21-7, Big Red, 3:11 to go. We'll be back.
Not done that, Roseberry would have not had to run.
Edwards with the squibber, taken by one of the Central upmen at the 25-yard line. Didn't catch his number. He'll get out to the 35.
I think
that was number 14, sophomore quarterback, defensive back Michael Orlando, who quickly, only one time in the second half. That's not by design, folks. It was a completion. The other 4 times Marcino's been back to pass, he's either been sacked or he got away and scrambled for his life. We got Twins left. Draw play. Richardson hit as he crosses the 35, maybe gets to the 37. Talamine there. Burris there. Richardson might have picked up a pair on forward progress. They say he's at the 36. He'll get 1.
So I think that play was strictly designed to slow down the Big Red rush a little bit. They're obviously in a passing situation, but they've really come very hard, has Big Red. Central wanted to slow them down. I think they'll come out throwing on this play.
2nd and 9, 2:34 to go. Marcino back in the pocket, going to the outside. It's tipped, and I think it's intercepted by Trey Hargrove. No, inside linebacker Stevie Terry makes the intercept as Marcino was hit as he threw, and Terry will intercept with 2:28 to go. First Crusader turnover.
Well, that's what we talked about. The Big Red in the last 2 series has really put a tremendous amount of pressure on quarterback Travis Marcino. He really hasn't had very much time whatsoever. That time he was faced with 2 or 3 guys in his face, and he threw the intercept.
Big Red has it at the Central 43. Let's see if they Just run the clock out with 2:10 to go. Long count by Grill. Grill options, keeps it around the right side. No intention of pitching to Alexander. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by Stanwyck and Richardson. 2nd and 10.
Jeff Grill, what are we giving him on, John? 2?
We're giving him nothing.
Well, giving him nothing.
As he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. Well, we'll give him, we'll call it no gain. 2nd and 10.
The only reason I mentioned that, I was just checking on his yardage. He has 44 yardage on 14 carries, the quarterback from Big Red.
2nd and 10, 1:30 to go. Twins left, backs in an eye. Keaton's the fullback. Alexander the deep back. Alexander starts too quickly as he plows to the 40. As the referee threw the flag, as Darius was trying to get off the mark quickly. That's illegal procedure. Pick up of 3. It'll be 3rd and 7. Or tied until late in the 3rd quarter when Tyrone Roseberry took it in from the 10-yard line to break the deadlock. The conversion was wide. Central moved into Big Red territory, but a couple of sacks by the Steubenville defense forced a punt. And then Big Red was able to travel 93 yards with a couple of huge plays in there to put it out of reach. And they have it 3rd and 7 at the Central 40 with 1:19 to go as play resumes. Crow eye, trap left side. Alexander picks his way. He drives. He's to the 37, and 4 white shirts have him. He refuses to go down. It'll be 4th down, and about 4 or 5.
Second half, that, plus I think their running backs came out and ran a lot harder in the second half than in the first.
4th and 5. Steubenville tries to get Central to come offside as the linemen were up and then went down. Now long count by Grill. He fakes the handoff. He's rolling out. He's looking. He fakes the throw. He's at the 35 and short of the first down. Well, maybe close to the first down as Richardson got him at the 33.
Now the defense for the Big Reds coming onto the field, so they must know something that we don't know. It looks like it's going to be short, though, John. Central's going to take over with 1 minute and 2 seconds left to go.
Big Red tried to get Central to jump with that patented all linemen up. And then on a hike, they all go down and try to get you into the neutral zone. Central wouldn't have any of it. Big Red not thinking about throwing, rolled Grill out after the play fake. And he was short of the first down at the 34 as Central takes over with 40 seconds to go. Marcino back over the middle, slightly overthrows his intended receiver, tight end Paul Wilson, who was open, as he got behind the linebacker Aaron Peace and in front of the safety man Jonathan Collier, but the pass was incomplete.
Wilson ball game.
Big Red on the road next week at Zanesville in an important game. Central home here Saturday against Belair. Marcino back in the pocket. Looks like a middle screen. He throws it for Richardson. It may be intercepted. Almost intercepted by Mark Palmer. The pass was over Richardson's head. And Palmer almost came up with the interception as he shakes his head. Clock stopped with 39 seconds to go.
Well, 2 good things happened on that play. Number 1.
Long. Polshaw right or left? Gibson left. Gibson right. Polshaw left. Marcino's pass intended for Gibson. Almost intercepted again. As stepping in front was linebacker Stevie Terry. He had a clear shot at the football, and he would have had his 2nd straight intercept, but he dropped.
Played, and you play it all out the entire football game with 35 seconds to go, even though they're down 14. I think the Crusaders will air it out.
Dorian Livingston comes into the Big Red line at the defensive tackle. Marcino back. He's going deep. He's looking for Gibson, and this one will be intercepted by Tillman at the Central, or at the Big Red 40. He's running laterally. Tries to pick up a block, and he's down at the 46 by Gibson, Wilson, and Gualter as Tillman comes up with the big interception. Good sportsmanship shown. Wilson helps Tillman up because he took a pretty good pop.
He sure did. And
7 or 8 on the year for him.
Yeah, well, we know he can catch the ball, and he's catching the ball on the defensive side as well as the offensive side.
Well, Big Red will not come out of the huddle. This game is over. Steubenville defeats Catholic Central for the 11th straight year in the tenure of Reno Succosh. Another hard-earned Big Red victory over the Crusaders. Big Red now 8-0. Catholic Central 7-1. Your final. Steubenville 21. Steubenville Central 7. Joe Nolan and I will be back after a couple of messages.